A few episodes ago, I put out a call to see if anybody else was doing any of the zero waste things that I have been talking about for the past year. And lovingly, because it's lovely that you did, in that kind of way of using that adjective, 4 people specifically did get back to me, and they were all women. I don't know what it is with the guys, but the women came back to me, and 3 of them had said that they switched to moon cups and non-menstrual pads, things that us guys don't know anything about. And another woman said that she makes sure that she doesn't buy anything in plastic whatsoever. So that's really nice. That's all I have to say about the feedback that I put a call out for in a previous episode. With that aside, I want to share some personal gains that I've been making, and then we can get into the main topic of this episode. As you know, if you're following the podcast, and now as the YouTube channel is building up some steam with regards to putting out videos of similar content to the podcast, you'd know that I'm actually doing a lot more home cooking and fermenting, and it turns out that I'm saving so much money that I'm using that money saved to pay off things that I've started to buy to enhance the kitchen. So I bought an IKEA table, which was second-hand, for like 1/6 of the retail price. And I actually bought a home food processor, and that was like, I think, 3,000 Hong Kong dollars off the marked price. I'm using those savings to reinvest, but also still following the sort of zero waste ethos. I'm using it to pay off the second-hand items that I've that I am using. English is so difficult. And of course, the other bonus, when you see it, of course, is that I have a really cool kitchen table set up now for YouTube videos. And the other great side effect of doing this is that because I am making yogurt, my housemate is interested, so I'm actually started to sell yogurt to him and then to friends of friends as well. And that is helping me generate a little bit of income to pay off everything that I've just mentioned that I just bought. And the other one was, what's on my list here? I put out a call outside my apartment. There's a gate, you can't get in otherwise, and there's a little shelf there, and I put a little notice to say, if anybody's got any glass, put it here and I'll recycle it, because Hong Kong doesn't recycle glass really, up until recently when they've realised, oh, hang on, we need something that is in place of sand. Oh yeah, okay, we'll recycle glass now, because it's economically, economically worth doing, I guess. There we are, that's Hong Kong in 2019. All that personal stuff aside, because some of that isn't about saving money and going zero waste with our finances, this article that I want to share with you is by a blogger named, I'm going to butcher it here because I think it's Russian, Marilyn Vachoshka. She recently wrote an article about how much she has saved by going zero waste, avoiding specifically 14 products, and we'll get into this, and I'll give you a little breakdown of those products. What's also good about this, even for me, is that she's managed to save money in different ways to me, so there's things for me to learn. Side note, I am a bit jealous though, because her record keeping is much better than mine. She's itemized a ton of stuff, and for my end of year summary podcast / video, it just won't be as well costed, I'm afraid. It'll be some summaries. Oh well, there's always 2021. She's done some good research and implemented a lot of things to show how wasteful we can be generally when it comes to buying the first product we see on the shelf or the most marketed item. 14 products to avoid. I'll quickly list them, tell you what I'm doing with those things that Marilyn has focused on, and then it's best to read the article for yourself and find out how you can take advantage of her money-saving advice also, aside from mine. Number 1, household cleaning supplies. This is the next phase for me, especially when making an entire episode out of it for the podcast. Currently, I refill my washing up bottle, the one that I use my dishes with, at the Zero Waste store, and I know it's not something everyone can do, so her advice is about sharing ideas about cleaning with combinations of vinegar, lemon peels, and vodka. Ooh, vodka. That takes some preparation, but importantly, most of us have those ingredients already, and we can just reuse them for different contexts, whichever. I, for example, have a lemon peel solution actually being made in the fridge. It takes about a month. You just get loads of lemon peels, soak it in white vinegar, and then put it in the fridge. And then after a month, you've got this lemon-smelling cleaning solution. All those lemon peels were leftovers from all the kombucha that I was making. So you see how it feeds into one another when you get going. Number 2, avoiding wet wipes. Well, I don't use those anyway, so don't buy them, she says. Number 3, trash bags. Well, I don't buy trash bags, but when I do go shopping, and sometimes when I need a plastic bag to carry those items, which I have to pay for, with a little, plastic bag tax, I'll use that as my trash bag. But she's saying don't buy any at all. But if you are going zero waste, you'll find that you are not throwing out as much stuff as much as you used to. It goes without saying, doesn't it, that you would need to buy fewer trash bags. Number 4, paper towels. I don't buy them. I have plenty of reusable cloth alternatives. I do find that old t-shirts are really good for that, for cleaning as well as fermenting yogurt, as long as they don't have any ink on them. That's a true story. There's nothing wrong with them as long as they're properly cleaned. Number 5, menstrual single-use products. Obviously something that I'm an expert in. And just mentioned that at the top of the episode. And you can listen to episode 5 of the podcast with Rhea. Of course, I'm never going to use them, so. Number 6 is aluminium foil. I haven't used aluminium foil in decades. Again, when I lived with my dad or my family, I had them in the house, but I don't now. It isn't something important to have, and I prefer to keep my food away from aluminium anyway for health reasons. But when it does come to baking, there is a company that sells compostable baking paper. Perfect. Zero waste. Plastic water bottles. This is number 7. You can buy one stainless steel bottle and you're good to go. Water is far cheaper at the tap and less environmentally damaging, obviously, because of the resources involved with producing plastic and then the water to put it in. Number 8, unnecessary beauty personal products. I'm already beautiful, so I don't need these products to help me. Varakoshka explains it better, so if you're a woman, listen to her. She's got loads of tips. Number 9, fast food. Consider what fast food is. It's a luxury, of course, and a convenience. I eat fast food sparingly, but when I do, I optimize, because I'm the guy in this relationship, and my dine-out meals are basically considered with value in mind. So if I can buy something that's already quite expensive in Hong Kong anyway, but their portions are bigger and tastier, then I'll go with that. And it does actually drive some of my Hong Kong friends crazy, because I prefer those kinds of places, whereas they might be okay with spending $30, $35 on a night out for food. And that just blows my mind. I don't want to do that, or can't ever want to do that. Sorry, but social life is so expensive, and there are 1,000,001 ways to socialize with your friends without spending a dime. And I think society has tricked us, or capitalism has tricked us into thinking that we need to spend money in order to socialize, when that's just simply not true. Number 10, packaged foods, sweets, snacks, things like that. I don't buy packaged sweets. This tip is really more about not living an unhealthy lifestyle, and obviously unhealthy food can be expensive in many ways because it doesn't really fill you up and you've got to buy more. And if you're of that mindset where you think unhealthy food is beneficial for you, then you're in this circular trap and you're spending money and you're getting more unhealthy. But if you omit those things purely on the grounds that you do not want to get unhealthy, you're already doing so much for your wallet by refusing this convenience. Number 11, and then we've got one more. New clothes. She's basically saying don't buy new clothes. So what are the alternatives? Repair and buy second hand. I wear my clothes out till they're falling off my back. This says something again about the social pressures placed on us in order to get us to consume and to treat updating our wardrobes as a normal behaviour. For example, H&M, they have 52 seasons now in a year, instead of what normal people would recognise as having 4 seasons. They're basically optimizing to make sure that your clothes are basically out of trend as soon as possible. And we have to be aware of this, more mindful of when we go to the store, we're being manipulated so that we feel like we're in trend all the time, constantly. Again, that's a game I don't really want to play. And I'm sharing a link down below in the description so you can have a look at this yourself and read more into it. Her article doesn't cover it. This is just my addition to it. And I'm already flirting with second-hand clothes stores and getting my stuff repaired where possible. Shoes are the only exception at the moment, but I am looking into buying sustainable varieties where I can. And obviously, I mean, for me, it's okay with price, but I will try and find things that are going to be cheaper for you, aside from second-hand. And number 12, oh sorry, there's 14, not 12. Number 12, single-use and plastic razor blades. This one is too easy, and I laughed when I read it because I've been shaving my head for the past 16 years. I just need to buy a beard trimmer. I didn't do that because I was going zero waste 16 years ago. Never even thought of it as a concept. It's just, I was just going bald, and I thought, I'm not going to the barbers every time I want to hide my bald patch through some creative follicle editing. Just shave it off. liberate myself. Ego is expensive also, isn't it? I was going to make an episode about this, but there's no point really. It's just, hey, if you're okay with your baldness or with short hair, then just buy a beard trimmer. There, I said it. No need to make an episode out of it. But this is a cost that I've managed to shave off my expenses for a long time now. But I can't really include it because it's been going on for decades. Number 13 is toilet paper. At the moment, I myself buy a plastic alternative toilet paper. And what that means is it doesn't come wrapped in plastic whatsoever, either as a bag, as a whole unit, or individually wrapped. It just comes in paper and then they're wrapped in sort of like a wax paper which you're allowed to recycle. Also, the zero waste forums on Reddit do love to talk about a bidet, and I might be looking to getting one of those as a solution to further go zero waste as long as it's cost effective. And number 14 is the final one. This is about cigarettes. This is an interesting one because, of course, if you don't smoke, then this is useless, but it's nice that the author took the time to show how you can go zero waste with smoking. So she's suggesting, of course, giving up is best, but if smoking is a priority, then you can just go with e-cigarettes because they're much cheaper. Just to summarize, she said that she saved 5,300 in the year she went zero waste, and that's before some other deductions. That's amazing. I haven't saved that much, but I know I am saving money, and so my next episode will be about what I'm sharing in terms of what I'm saving. If you like this episode, obviously sub it. If you only didn't like it as much, then just give it a like, share it, and check out the podcast where I'm much more pithy. Thanks for watching.